Good morning, everyone, with this product webinar from Zyxel. I waited just a few minutes more to get people on board, So I give it a few minutes more and then we're gonna start. Just a few more minutes. Hello, good morning. My name is Michael Nicolai. I'm the Senior Regional Sales Engineer for Northern Europe and Middle East. And in this session, I'd like to show you more about Zyxel as a brand, how we started, how we developed as a company, and I will inform you about our three major product lines that we offer in the B2B business, security, wireless, and switching. So during this session, it's always nice to have some conversation from you guys that are attending. We are not with that many, so we can control it then. So if there is any question during the session, feel free to open up your microphone and ask your question during the session. No problem. Also afterwards, we have a possibility to have a Q&A discussion on the webinar. I expect that we have this session for 1.5 hours, I think. Depends how many questions you might have. So if you have a question, just unmute yourself and then you can ask the question. So let's start. So again, warm welcome to everyone to this webinar session with a product introduction of Zyxel. And Zyxel is an IT company that's being established over 30 years ago in Taiwan. So we are a Taiwanese company and we serve over 150 markets already. And we put a lot of devices on the market already. So we are a global vendor selling the products globally. And if you look at the split in revenue, you see that the majority of our revenue, the business we do, the majority we do in the EMEA region. So that means Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So that's number one. North America is number two, and our home market, Asia, is number three. So originally, Asia was our home market, but we moved more into the SMB business and specialized in high quality products that would fit most to European customers. So that success we used to have a success in other regions as well. So if we look at the product portfolio, you can divide our portfolio in three divisions. The telco service provider division, that is responsible to develop products for telcos, for ISPs, so that we have our connection to the internet. So it can be a simple DSL modem, but it can also be a full MSAN or DSLAM infrastructure or fiber or GPON solution. And in our B2B business, we leverage from some of the products and we offer that in our channel business as well. The majority of our business is coming out of our business connectivity. So the business connectivity is the security, so the firewall gateway, the switching, the wireless. Cloud is getting a big part of it as well, but also LTE products are getting more and more popular. And last but not least, we have a connected home division that's providing some products for mostly end users with some routers, mesh systems, small switching and power line products. So we skip that for today and we focus on our business connectivity that we have in the middle. So if you look at Zyxel as a company, we are a quite technical driven company. We have a lot of people working for engineering or for local support. Over 500 people are working in Taiwan and in Germany and in the US in our R&D centers. Over 500 people are working there for the daily development of our products, both software and hardware. And of course, we have also a lot of technical engineers available as well to support you as a customer or you end user. Globally, we have more than 150 people working to support our end customers. So if you look at the values that we offer, of course, we have our great products, of course, that everyone likes and values, but we have more to offer as a company. So that's why we offer bid support. So if you're running a project and you're in competition with other vendors, please get in contact with our sales office in Dubai, and let's see if we can meet the price and meet the same kind of functionality as we have from our portfolio. And the products that we offer with lifetime warranty. That means it's not really lifetime because it's not till you die, but it is end of sales plus 5. That is called limited lifetime warranty. So as long as it's on the price file, you still have warranty. So you don't need to worry about anything. If it drops out the price file, then from that moment of time, you still have 5 years of warranty. So you can send the product back to your distributor and then they will replace it for you. So that's what's happening in the warranty. So what do you offer more? We offer post-sale support. On the left-hand side in yellow, it's that we have several support offices, support campuses all over the world that can support you free of charge. So any customer that has a Zyxel product within or out of warranty, we will help him free of charge. So if you need some installation help or have some inquiries technically, then you can contact our post-sales support campus. For Middle East, the closest office is Turkey. And in Turkey, we offer that support to your region. And any type of customer can give us a call, can email, can chat, or ask for a callback, whatever the person likes to contact us. So just go to support.zyxel.eu, it's EU, and then you find all the support options free of charge that we can offer. Then on the right hand side in blue, it's pre-sales support and guidance. That's me is part of that. We have a group of pre-sales engineers that support our sales offices to help them with projects. So if you need to qualify certain products, then we can help in this way. You can have direct contact with me, or your contact is forwarded to me to see how we can help you on this to find the correct solution out of our portfolio. So regional presence, then we go to the left again in red. We're trying to be as close to our customers as possible. We support you out of Dubai in this region, where you have local presence. We offer free webinars on the right-hand side in red. It's that we do that on a regular base, and it's being announced from our main website. So if you go to the Zyxel website, you can find the webinars over there that is being delivered by several people within our company. That can be an introduction of new products. It can be an introduction of new software or a new firmware release for all products. So those free webinars are announced there. And sometimes we have webinars like this, then it's not announced on the website, but then it's created special for you guys. So then on the left-hand side in blue, partner program, we are finishing up this in Europe at the moment. We think that before the end of the year, we can introduce this also for Middle East region, so that you can sign up as a partner, and then we can qualify you on your revenue, and then can engage you in the partner program and make you a gold, silver, or ally member of our system. So then in orange, next business day replacement, that's up to the distributor where you buy your product locally. Some of the distributors offer this as a service, that if you send your product in, that the next business day there will be a replacement for you. Then the two on the bottom are more technical related items. Deployment guides on the left in orange. We offer for engineers free deployment guides, or handbooks as we call it, where you can find all kind of tips and tricks how to configure certain kind of configuration. So let's say you're starting up buying our gateways, and you want to create a VPN between two branch offices, and it is the first time you install our product and you're connecting to another brand of firewall. Then we provide you a example setup how to do this. So these deployment guides are free of charge, and you can find them on our FTP site, ftp.zyxel.com, or through our website as well. Then we have some management tools that are for the Windows operating system only, where you can do all kinds of network searching on Zyxel products. We can help you on the Wi-Fi. Just look at our website and see what we have to offer, and you can download that free of charge. As I mentioned, that we offer a lot of things free of charge. That is also the software, the firmware versions in our hardware products. So if you buy a hardware product today, then you can always update it to the latest one without any costs. And also, if you are keeping that product for a longer term, no problem. If it's within or without warranty, you can always update to the latest version free of charge. It's not bug fixing only, but will also provide new features that you can leverage from. So the products that we offer are quite a lot. That's security, wireless, LAN, gateway. So we can give you the complete product portfolio that we offer. So let's start with our security products. And security is really important nowadays. And to illustrate that importance, and especially on the SMB market, is that you see that the numbers are increasing, and also that the small businesses are most vulnerable. So with this example, 58% of the malware attack victims are categorized as small businesses. So that tells something, but it was even scary that 81% of the data breach victims do not have a system in place to self-detect data breaches. So if your data is being stolen, probably nobody knows about this. So how can we make sure that we are protected? So here are even more numbers, yeah, not to scare you, but just to illustrate how important it is that you have some security on your firewall so that not all the traffic is coming in unchecked. So the last number I want to show you, 39 seconds, there's a hacker attack, or even 480 times threats per minute are discovered in 2018 in one quarter, and that's increasing by the day. So security is really important that we have a good product for that. And Zyxel has 4 product lines: VPN, cloud, USG, and ATP that can help you to build that security. And that security is being certified by ICSA labs for over 15 years now. So that will show you the quality of our product, and that's being there for a long, long time. As I said, we have 4 product lines: the VPN series, the NSG series, the USG series, and the ATP series. Yeah, the VPN series is just a VPN firewall with no additional security features. The NSG series is a fully cloud managed security gateway that has no on-premise configuration, but only on the cloud. The same product, but then on-premise, is USG series. Those are still the most popular ones. And the new ATP series, that is an upgrade or a better product than our current USG series. I will show you in a bit what the differences are. But what all the products have in common is that we share the high availability on the product. And why we need that high availability? Because the internet connections gets more and more important. So that's why in yellow we offer the multi-WAN connection. So if your primary ISP is failing, then it will automatically fail over to a second provider, and without noticing from any client that's in the network. So WAN failover is on all of our products, but also VPN high availability. So that means that if you have a VPN from your branch office to your headquarters and your VPN is failing on the primary line, we automatically move this VPN from one line to another without noticing of any clients that are connected. It's the same with hardware failure. On the red button or the red quarter of the pie, it's high availability. That means if the hardware is failing, of course, that almost never happens, but yeah, it's still electronics, so it can fail. We offer a backup solution on the hardware. So we do an active passive device backup and fail recovery solution, and that is free of charge in our product. So if one of your primary product is failing, then automatically it moves into your backup device instantly without noticing for any customer. Also, on the product itself, we offer high availability on the dual firmware support. So the software is made redundant on the product. So if you do an upload from the new version and something goes wrong, you can always go back to the previous version. So just to make it convenient for you as a customer. So what the products share as well is that the applications that we use to enhance our security, those products are third-party products. That means that we as a company, Zyxel, is not building our own antivirus solution. Like, for instance, Dell Sonical or Fortinet is doing by themselves. We, Zyxel, are not an antivirus vendor. We are a security vendor focusing on the hardware on that part. So we take the best third party in each category to in our products that we leverage from them. So for our antivirus, we use Bitdefender. It's also possible to use Kaspersky. That is a second option, but we don't offer that by default because Kaspersky has some concern, especially in the US, because it's a Russian software, so they don't trust that. So for that reason, we offer Bitdefender by default on the antivirus. and Kaspersky is also possible. It's still available. And for anti-spam and content filtering, we use Siren, and for our IDP, our intrusion detection prevention, we use Trend Micro, and for that reason also the app intelligence. So the app intelligence is really important for us, because then with app intelligence you can manage your network. So with the IDP functionality, we can really investigate what kind of traffic is going through your network. And based on that information, we can detect all the applications that are running through your network. So with the application awareness, we have over 3,000 applications in our profile where we can do all kind of management with. So we can block the application or we can manage the application. For example, if you want to manage Skype, then for instance, you can allow the chatting, but you can block the voice or maybe the file transfer within the application. Or you can block BitTorrent or other kinds of applications. So you control what kind of traffic you want to have on your network. So that's also a key feature that we offer in our gateway products. So the software that we are running on our gateways, they are licensed. So that means that when you buy the product, that 9 out of 10 times you buy the software, the additional software included with the hardware. The only thing you need to do is you have to register your product and to enable your services. And that registration, we offer you to do this on myzyxel.com. On myzyxel.com is a data center where you can register your product and you can also activate your license. And those licenses are synchronized, so you always have a tool where you can see all your licenses that you have activated in the past. So it's an online license management, but it's also a device database of all the products that are being registered on your name. It's even multi-tenant, so if you even sell the product to an end customer, that end customer can assign you as a reseller, and then you as a reseller can see also the device and the license time of the customer. So that's also a possibility with the MyZyxel registration portal. So if you go to the product itself, then we start with our VPN series. The VPN series, it's a product with multiple WAN, load balancing, and in some extent also a Wi-Fi controller, and it has multiple VPN connections that we can offer. So IPsec, LTTP, or SSL are the three major connections that we can provide on these products. So if we look at the products, we have VPN2S. It is a very entry-level gateway with VPN functionality. The performance on the firewall is very good. Only the VPN performance is not that great, but compared to the other products that we have in this portfolio, but it's really nice if you want to connect to your business. So once in a while, then the throughput is not that important, but the connectivity is more important. So that's why we have the VPN2S as a very entry-level product. If you want to upscale, then we provide you with USG20, USG20W. The W stands for wireless as well. So within the box, we provide you a wireless access point as well. And then we have VPN 50. And if you need more performance, we have VPN 100, 300, and USG 2200. So for you as a customer, that is really important. If you select one of the products, look at the firewall speed first, because check on the line that your customer has, and based on that speed, check on your firewall. Then if that is meeting your expectations, then you can also look at the VPN throughput. because if you have a 1 gig line and you want to leverage from that 1 gig line with your full VPN throughput, then obviously you can use the VPN 100 because the firewall has more than 1 gig performance, but you see the VPN throughput is only 500 meg. So then you have to move to VPN 300, not because of the firewall throughput, but because of the VPN throughput. Another thing could be that you want to control your access points as well from the gateway. So, and you see that the number of access points that we can control is different from one product to another. So with the 100, you see 68, with the 300, 132, and on the USG 2200, we can control up to 1024 access points locally on the box. Yeah, so this is our VPN portfolio that we offer. Then I'll show you the products that we can offer in our Nebula, in our cloud portfolio. So in this area, we have 4 products. The first 3 are Energy 50, 100, and 200. Again, check on your firewall speed, what's needed. Then check on the UTM. UTM is Unified Threat Management. So that's the speed that you can expect as maximum when you have the antivirus and the IDP license enabled on the product. So antivirus and intrusion detection prevention. So those are the numbers that are listed here as well. If you need more performance, then you need to upscale to a higher number. The highest number we can offer with the highest spec is at the moment Energy 300 with over 4 gigabits per second on the firewall speed. And all these products come with a 1-year security license, so you can enable all the applications, as I mentioned before, on your product. So this is cloud, but we still offer and we continue offering also USG product, on-premise controller, gateway, firewall, and application as well. Yeah, security applications. So the security applications that we have, as I mentioned before, is antivirus, anti-spam, content filtering, app intelligence with the IDP. What do we have more? We have geo IP, so we can block certain regions or certain countries that cannot be entered. So that is has more diversity, and the product portfolio we offer in this is starting with USG 40, 40W. Again, the W stands for wireless access point. And again, you see that in the models that's going up, you see that the firewall throughput, UTM, and VPN throughput are getting faster and faster. So depending on your needs, you need to pick one of those products. If you take a standard business, let's say 10 to 20 employees in an office environment, we normally suggest USG 110. So then you have some kind of reference to start on when you offer such a product. Yeah. If this speed is not enough, yeah, we can offer you higher speeds with USG 210, 310, and 1100. And 1100, if you even need more speed, then we can offer you USG 1900 with 7 gig per second firewall throughput. So this is our traditional UTM product. That is our product line that's most successful. On-premises firewall gateway with Wi-Fi controller. So the new technology that we recently introduced is ATP, so Advanced Threat Protection. And this is a technology that we leverage from enterprise services. Because we saw that in the enterprise business, we saw ATP coming up already, but it was really expensive and not reachable for medium to small businesses, so SMB market. So what we're doing with ATP is that we're going beyond the conventional. So we're doing an additional security layer on top of our current UTM products. So how does that look like? Yeah, if you look at the traditional UTM product, you see all the applications that we offer in our USG in this case, with anti-spam, IDP, antivirus, app patrol, content filtering, and all those applications have a profile or have a signature database. So this database is constantly updated, but we can only decide based on this database if your file that you're downloading or coming through your gateway, it is good or bad. Yeah, if the file is unknown and it's not registered in one of the profiles, then it cannot be detected or we cannot judge that file. So we have a certain gray area where files come through where we don't have a profile on. So what we do with that? So in that case, if we cannot judge good or bad, then we're gonna identify this file separately. And we don't do that on the box itself. No, we do it in a sandbox. And a sandbox is a large computer with a lot of resources who can do your detection of your file. So how does it look like? Yeah, because in this gray area, we can detect security threats, new security threats that maybe have been developed yesterday and deployed today. So we call that zero-day threats. How can we detect this? So for these zero-day attacks, we create, like I said, a very powerful sandbox product. And this sandbox is put into the cloud. And how does it look like? It looks like this. So the file comes in on the gray path as an unknown threat. So that comes in and it moves into the sandbox. And the sandbox will contain your threat or your unknown threat and will run all kinds of emulations on that file. And it will detect if it's malicious or not. Yeah, and that's a process that needs a lot of resource and that we cannot offer in our firewall, in our gateway, because then our firewall gateway will be really, really big and really expensive. So only for that occasion that we don't know about that file, we send it to the sandbox. So when it comes in and we do the emulation, then we can detect if it's malicious or not. So if it's malicious, then okay, we know this and then we can defend ourselves against it. Yeah, but also if it's a good file, yeah, without any malware on it, also that information is shared back to the device. Yeah, so your ATP product receives after a few minutes a report back from the sandbox and give you a report back if the file is malicious or not. So the next time that the file comes through, it was automatically detected and can be blocked immediately. So the thing is that only the first person can be infected, and all others will be blocked. In the case of a USG, that was really never detected. So not only the first one would suffer from this, but also the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth one, because there's no detection on this. So this is a major improvement against our USG series. So with this information, we have extra intelligence from our sandbox. And with our sandbox, we build a new global security ecosystem because the system does not report back to your ATP only. No, it reports back to all Zyxel ATPs that are in the market. So if your neighbor has detected a file, a malicious file, then also you as a neighbor with also ATP products will also get this information. So if that file comes through, that you are protected against it. The global ecosystem goes even further because it's not only Zyxel that is offering this solution to their customer, but also other big security vendors are using this technology. This technology is not being built by us, by Zyxel. No, it is a third party called Lastline, and that's a market leader in security effectiveness against data breach detection rates and has a great sandbox reputation already in place. So it's not only us, Zyxel, that using the last line, but also WatchGuard and Symantec are using this application. So any customer that has the same functionality on their WatchGuard or on their Symantec box is also helping you as an ATP user to protect your network. So how about the last line product? How does it compare to other sandbox providers? So this is a test from NSS Labs from the US who did some testing on the different systems that are currently available. And there you see that only 2 vendors can have the full protection, the 100% protection. And in this case, it's Trend Micro and Lastline. And Lastline is the cheapest one. So probably because of that, we choose them, yeah, with the 100% protection. Fortinet is getting close, but not 100%, yeah. Cisco on the left hand side, top on the chart, is also a high percentage, but still not 100% and very costly. So that's why we use Lastline for this. So the products that we use with this full package, we offer at the moment 3 products. So ATP 200, 500 and 800. And again, you see that the firewall throughput, UTM and VPN throughput is increasing every time. So if we take the office for 10 to 20 people as a standard, then in this case, we offer ATP 200 to this type of customer. So what do you get with the ATP? You get licenses, you get software included with your product. So the software that you get is in a gold pack, and it'll give you the sandboxing, the web security, the application security, different malware blockers, the IDP, the geo enforcer, and we unlock all your wireless access point licenses on the device. By default, you get 2 AP licenses on the product. If you have the gold pack, then we open up to the maximum number. So it's 18 for the ATP 200 up to the 130 APs on the ATP 800. And as a bonus, you get Seco Reporter in there. And that's an application that can store all your information that is coming through your network. I will explain you in a bit. So what's the comparison between ATP and USG? Of course, there are some applications that are new on the ATP for the extra level of security that we can offer. Yeah, so you see that the anti-malware is being enhanced, and we do botnet filtering and sandboxing as well on the ATP and not on the USG. So another difference, of course, is the USG is built on the next generation platform. The ATP is the next generation platform. So that means that the ATP is much faster than the USG. So if you compare one to another, then if you buy a USG 110 now, then you're better off with the ATP 200. It's in the same segment, only the ATP 200 is cheaper and has more security features. The only thing that the ATP is missing is the hotspot functionality. The hotspot functionality is only available on the USG as a license. So not by default, you have to pay for this license, and then we can open up the hotspot management and also the Facebook Wi-Fi connectivity. And with this, you open up a dynamic database where you can give guest access based on quota or on time management of your guest network. So if that's something you're looking for, then you still have to use USG product. In other occasions, you can move to ATP because it's more secure and has a better performance. As I said, on the ATP, you get a bonus with the Seco Reporter software. And what is Seco Reporter? Seco Reporter gives you a centralized reporting tool for getting all the information out of your on-premise security appliance. So what you get is the data from your security appliance will give you analysis, reporting, alerting, monitoring, and visualization of all what's happening in your network. So the input comes from your on-premise gateway. And with that input data, we can provide you a nice dashboard. We can offer you reports you can send to your customer, but also it can alert you, yeah, if there is a malware attack or a botnet coming through into your network, then you can be alerted on this, that this is happening. Also, some analysis can be done. So you can check who is the most dangerous guy in your office environment, who has the most detections. So you can all see this. So what can you see exactly? So the thing is, what you want to see is what kind of threat is coming in, who is the target, when was he targeted, who was the attacker, and where is the attacker coming from? Those are 5 valid questions you might want to know if there is attack coming through. So the answers to all these questions can be found in the Seco Reporter software. So you can dig on this data and then you can make countermeasures on this or based on this information. You can also make this software user aware, so that we see the names of all the people that are in the network, so we can identify who is taking which kind of data through your network. And then you can manage all your clients from one place, because Secure Reporter is a multi-tenant software, so you can also assign other people to have access to your reporting tool. So the report can be made customized. So that means that you can put the logo of the company in there and to send out a report to see about the health of the network. We also are GDPR compliant. That's something more for Europe than for Middle East, but if we don't do this, we cannot offer this service globally, and then we can make all the personal data. We can make that anonymous or partial anonymous to make sure that your privacy is protected on this. So this software you can enable. So you have to enable it first on your gateway. And if you have it enabled on your gateway, then you can log in on this URL and then you can see the data as well. So this software is free of charge when you have the ATP product. Of course, there are people saying, how about USG? Because I like the reporting, but I haven't bought ATP yet, but I already installed some USGs. Then also is an opportunity to connect your USG into the system as well. Obviously, you need some new firmware for this, but this is free of charge and available on the FTP and on myzyxel.com to update your firewall, and then you can do a 30-day trial. Or if you want to have the license for 1 or 2 years, you can buy that as well. So that will conclude my products overview based on security. So let's go on wireless. If there are any questions related on security, feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions related to security if you want. Otherwise, we can also discuss this at the end of the session. So, okay, I don't see anyone opening or unmute him or herself. So let's move to wireless, because also wireless is getting more important. And why? Because I think, and maybe it's even more, that over 85 times a day we check on our smartphone, on our, if there are some messages or coming through, or some social media that we want to check. So it's getting more important, and we estimate that next year it will be over 7 billion connections, and it will go over 20 billion. It's only a matter of time. And not only smartphones and tablets like you see here, but it's all over the place, with all kind of IoT connections now. It's getting bigger and bigger. So where do we see wireless? Traditionally, we saw the wireless only in cafes, restaurants, or maybe offices, but that's it. But that's changed completely over the years. Now wireless is everywhere. So if you step up into an office or into a shop or whatever, the first question that people ask, oh, how about your guest Wi-Fi? Can I have guest access? So Wi-Fi is everywhere. And Wi-Fi we can manage in different ways. So the management types we offer, it's centralized managed out of Nebula, out of cloud, or it can be done standalone on premises or centralized on premises with a controller. So those are the options that we have. On Nebula, we have two options. We have the free cloud version that is software with controller. But if you need more enterprise features, then you have to add a professional license pack into it to manage those type of features. So we have cloud managed, on-premise standalone, on-premise controller. Those are the categories we offer into the wireless. So if you look at our products, then you see that our products say it's 2x2 or 3x3. So what's the difference? It's all related to the number of antennas. The more antennas, the higher performance you can expect from your access point. So that's what they say. The 2x2, it says 2 antennas are for receiving, 2 antennas are for sending data. And the more antennas that can send and receive, the more performance you can have. Talking about performance can be a nasty issue or a nasty thing to do, because maybe you invested a lot of money in buying the most expensive product, a 3x3 product from us, and then of course you want to check if you have value for money. So maybe you're checking with your mobile phone on the performance of your Wi-Fi, and then you might ask, why is the performance not there as I expected? And that's all related with the number of antennas, because the access point can have a 3x3 antenna, but if your device that you are checking with has no 3x3 antenna, then you can't get the highest performance out of your data transfer. The reason for this is that phones, even the Apple iPhone 8, has only a single antenna. So don't expect on a single antenna that you can have the maximum performance to a 3x3 access point. If you want to test it on the maximum performance, then there is only one device by default that has 3x3 antennas from factory, and that's an Apple MacBook Pro. Yeah, this is not an advertisement on Apple, not at all, but just to let you know that all other brands are not offering 3x3 antenna by default. It is available only as an upgrade. So the majority of our laptops, business laptops, are 2x2, and the cheaper consumer laptops have only a single antenna. So that means that on a single or a dual antenna, you don't have the maximum speed. And that's not a problem because even on a 2x2, you get a very good performance. Only it's not the maximum performance. So that's you need to know about antennas, and if you want to test it, the speed of your wireless. But what's also important when you do wireless, yeah, because you will see later that we have a broad portfolio of access points. And if only one access point can fit all, then it would be easier. Then we only have to offer one access point. But that is not the real case. We need to check multiple things on your environment and on the application and how to use the wireless in the environment where you're going to use it. Yeah. So the density of the number of users are really important. Yeah. Do you offer wireless in an office with maybe 10 or 15 people, or do you have 50 or 100 people in the same area? So that makes a difference. So density is important. Also, the application that you're running on your wireless is important, because if you're doing simple email checking, you don't need that much performance. But if all the people are streaming 4K video out of YouTube, then the requirements of your wireless will be really different. Yeah. So that is also something you need to take care of. Yeah. So talking about more about wireless, we have some wireless technologies that can help you to give you the additional performance or the additional bandwidth that you want. And one of them is smart antenna. And before I talk about smart antenna, I have to talk about beamforming first, because smart antenna is not beamforming. And this is quite technical, yeah, but I try to show you it as easy as possible. Um, because beamforming is a process of steering the RF energy. That means that if we have a access point with multiple antennas, we can shift the second radio a bit. So how does it look like on a normal access point? It's like this. Yeah, we have one antenna, it's sending out a normal signal. So, and you take that signal from your smartphone on this, so that's standard. But if you want to do beamforming, then you have two radios of two antennas, and then one signal is shifted from the other. And then you see on the crossings that you have a higher amplitude. So that means that you have a double signal strength on that point. And if you have your device on that point, you have a better signal strength. So this technology has been invented some years ago with the N standard, but then the client was not aware of this technology because it was not supported. It was supported on the access point, but not on the client. So we reintroduced this again in the AC Wave 2 standard. And then now all clients also can leverage from this technology. And then you can see we can have a 50% higher throughput on your device. Another thing to have additional performance is moving from single user MIMO to multi-user MIMO. And single user MIMO, it is the standard way of talking of all access points today. So that means that if you have an access point with multiple antennas and you're connecting with multiple devices to this access point, then each device is connecting in sequence with the access point. Yeah, so The laptop number 2 has to wait on the smartphone number 1 when it's finished, and then he can talk, and then when he is finished, then the tablet number 3 can talk to the access point. So there's a waiting time involved. Yeah. To get rid of this, we can now have multi-user MIMO in place. That's also in the AC Wave 2 technology. So that means that it's not in sequence, but all devices can talk directly and simultaneous to the access point. And this will give a great performance increase. Technically, it can increase up to 300%. And this would be great, of course. Yeah, if you have a 300% more performance on your wireless. There's only one but. If there is one device that does not support multi-user MIMO, so does not have the latest technology, you drop back to single-user MIMO, and then for everyone, this benefit will stop. So multi-user MIMO is great, but make sure that all your clients can support this to have this additional performance. So what kind of challenges we see in the wireless today is we set five applications where we ask you, have you ever experienced this? So let's take the yellow one, as an experience. Even with one AP in each classroom, students struggled with slow download speeds. So normally you think, slow download speed, one AP per classroom, must be a performance issue. So let's put an additional access point in there. So then we have 2 access points per classroom, and probably we have a better Wi-Fi experience. And then you check, and then it's not better Wi-Fi. And then but why? Why you don't get better Wi-Fi? And this all has to do with the Wi-Fi channels that we are using today. Yeah, because all the access points are sending out their signal on a specific channel. So to show you on channels how this works, we go a little bit technical and we go a little bit back, because as you know, on the wireless we have 2 frequencies that we can support from the access point, the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz. The 2.4 is the oldest standard, that we used 10-15 years ago. We started this, and then we had 13 channels available, in Japan 14, and those channels were available to do the Wi-Fi connection. And then we said, to our neighbor, if you are taking channel 1, then I take channel number 6, because we don't have overlap, and then we have the maximum performance. So that's what we agreed. So try to select a channel that's not non-overlapping, so that gives you the full benefit of our speeds. But this is how we started 10-15 years ago. And this is not the standard that we are using at the moment, or not the majority. So we moved into the 5 gigahertz spectrum. So in that same bandwidth that we offered on the 2.4, we also could offer the same bandwidth on the 5 gigahertz. So instead of 3 non-overlapping channels, we now all of a sudden have 19 non-overlapping channels. So that was a big improvement. So now the chance that you have an overlapping channel was reduced a lot. But this was a long time ago. We talk about 54 megabits per second. So in recent years, we upgraded our Wi-Fi, and then we came with the N standard. And with the N standard, we merged our channels into bigger channels. So the advantage is that we go to a higher speed, up to 450 megabytes per second. Only the number of non-overlapping channels were reduced from 19 to 9. But still, 9 is a great number. You can select access points with a different number, and then they are non-overlapping. The thing is, the N standard is not our latest technology. The technology that we are using the most today is AC standard. And in AC standard, we double the performance again. So now in AC, we go up to 1.7 gigabits per second. But the disadvantage, we now have only 4 non-overlapping channels available. And this is the same as we started 15 years ago in the 2.4. Then we had 3, and now we want just 1 additional channel. And with the wave 2, it will get even worse. So only 2 channels available. So what's the issue when we're deploying a large Wi-Fi network is how to select the correct channel number on this to make sure that we have the highest speed available. The thing is, what we see here is the issue that we see is that we have co-channel interference. So that means that 2 access points are broadcasting on the same channel. And what does it mean if 2 access points are sending on the same channel? It's like traffic, yeah, coming in on the same lane. And when traffic comes together, you get collisions. With collisions, you get a traffic jam. And with traffic jam, you are 30 minutes late at work. So that's not what you want. So you want to close off. You don't want to have this co-channel interference. So traditionally, if we want to avoid this, in this picture we have 2 access points, yeah, sending out 360, and you see in the middle there's an overlap. There's the co-channel interference in the middle. So traditionally, what you can do is turn down the power. Let's do this, yeah. So now problem solved. There's no co-channel interference in the middle, but if you're standing there in the middle with your smartphone, you don't have internet access anymore. So that's probably not the solution. So the solution to do this is not to turn down the power, but to use smart antenna technology. And smart antenna technology don't give you the traditional antennas. No, it will give you the electronic antennas. And the electronics you see in the picture on the right hand side of the access point. You see the metal and the black one. Those are the electronic antennas in our access points. And with smart antenna, you can increase capacity, increase coverage, and also reduce the interference that you might have on your access points. But how does smart antenna work? Smart antenna is not working like a traditional one on the left-hand side. It's sending 360 Wi-Fi signal. No, it's offering a dedicated signal to your device. So that means if you're standing on the right-hand side, yeah, just within the circles, then you on the directional ones you have coverage, but on the picture on the left-hand side, and you're standing just within the circles, you're just missing out the Wi-Fi. Yeah. So how do we do this? So we do this electronically. So we have the access point in the middle, the Wi-Fi client on top, and the co-channel interference on the bottom. Yeah, the co-channel interference can be any device. It can be another access point, but it can also be a microwave or a Bluetooth device, anything that can interfere in the same channel. And what the access point is doing automatically, it's creating a dedicated pattern to the Wi-Fi client only. And it has no interference on the back. So no interference means no collisions. No collisions means 100% performance. Yeah. So, and if the Wi-Fi client is moving, yeah, no problem. We move the antenna pattern accordingly to the device. So that's what we can offer with smart antenna, and more of our products will have this smart antenna technology. So the biggest benefit is also the performance that we can offer on smart antenna. And to show you this is an example that we did a test in our auditorium in headquarters in Hsinchu, Taiwan. If you see on the floor plan, you see the access point is put up on the wall on the left hand side, and we created 4 measuring points. So P1 at the other side, P2 just around the corner, P3 in the middle, and P4 in the auditorium over 30 meters away from the access point. And what we did, and we put ourselves into a very high situation, is that we compare us to other enterprise products like Ruckus, Cisco, Aruba. And then you see our product, our WAC 6503 in this case, it's the dark green line on top. You see that this gives the highest performance when you're getting farther away from the access point. And this is 2.4, but on the 5, it's even different. Yeah, on the 5, you see that also us, a Zyxel product, is performing the best. But what is happening on P3 and P4? So let's zoom in that part, yeah. And what we see on P3, we can meet our competition. But on P4, we outperform our competition because all of the enterprise vendors connections are lost. And we still offer a 65 megabits throughput on P4. So this indicates that on a longer distance, we can provide a much better connection speed. So this is us saying that we are the best. And of course, we will say that. But also an independent university in Europe, in Brescia, Italy, did a similar testing on their products, also on co-channel interference. And also they used enterprise class products and also our products. So with the Aruba, Ruckus and Cisco ones, Cisco even more antennas, there was a very surprise on the outcome, not by us, but by the university, is they saw that we performed 70% better in co-channel interference than the others, yeah. 56% better than Cisco and even 45% better than Ruckus as sharing the same smart antenna technology. So we're doing a great job on this technology. And not only on smart antenna, yeah, on all of our product line, we offer a high quality of products. And not only the lifetime, the limited lifetime, so end of sales plus 5, but also we take care of our components so that to make sure that we can have the highest quality on this. Normally, people check our product with the competition and they look at the gain, so how far it can reach. That is important, but what is more important is the sensitivity. How good can an access point listen? And then you see that we, as a Zyxel product, we make a difference because we can listen much better than all other brands. And why is that important? Because you can't expect from a smartphone with a battery that has the same Wi-Fi power as an access point. So every bit that we can receive is really important. Yeah, and that's why the sensitivity is much more important than the gain on the access point. So let's go quickly to our portfolio. So our standalone portfolio starts with a 2x2 access point, yeah, especially a good access point for office environment. It's a smoke detector look and feel product that you have to put on the ceiling. If you want to have more flexibility, you need to go to 1123 AC Pro because that can put on the ceiling and on the wall. So both, because it has an optimized antenna. If you want to leverage from the latest technology from AC Wave 2 and multi-user MIMO, then you have to go to 1120 AC HD. You know. For hospitality, we have NWA 1302. That's a smart antenna device with 2x2 access points. But as a bonus, you get 3 switch ports on the access point as well, where you can connect a PoE powered telephone on it, but also provide maybe the IPT to the television and maybe some other services as well from that access point. So these access points can be managed standalone or in our Nebula cloud services. And the cloud services is free of charge, you can use. So these are our dedicated clouds. Again, the 102, the 203, and the 303. This comes with the Pro Pack. So functionality-wise, the NAP 102 has similar functionality as the entry-level 1120 ACV2. Only this comes with an additional license that gives you the enterprise features into Nebula. If you're interested in Nebula, feel free to contact one of the sales people in the Dubai office to tell you more about it. But this is our lineup that we can offer in the cloud. If you're looking for products that can be managed standalone or also controller based on premises, then you have to look at these series. The 5120 AC, ACHD, and the 2302 as our hospitality device. If you need more performance and more flexibility, then you have to go to our 6000 series, starting with the 6103. But if you like to have a smart antenna, then you have to move to 6303 or 6503. Last but not least, we offer two outdoor access points. The 52 is a smart antenna device, so it has no additional antenna plugs on the housing itself. It has only antenna inside. The 53 is a device where you have to put external antennas on top. So that's our Wi-Fi access points portfolio. As I said, we have also on-premises and centralized controllers. Within our VPN, USG, and ATP series. These are all the models that contain that free controller services. If you want to have HA, so hardware failover, then it will be reduced by these ones, because the other one will not offer you the device HA. And if you want to have a dedicated controller, so no security features or firewalling, then you can go to our on-premises controllers. With the NXC 2500, they can support up to 8 with an additional license up to 64. And we have an NXC 5500 with 64 license or up to 1024. Yeah, so that's our wireless in there. And these are some of the features that are standard on our controller. All those features, by the way, are also merged into our cloud system as well. Yeah, so all these are in there. And to close off the wireless, I want to give you a sneak preview of our access points that's coming up, the Wi-Fi 6 access point, or the 11AX standard, as it's called. And the AX standard gives you a much even more high-speed Wi-Fi, up to 10G, bigger capacity, and it operates in both 2.4 or 5 gigahertz band. The products that we come up with in Q4 are 3 products: the WAX 65OS and the WAX 510, and then the NWA 23AX. That's the product we're starting with, and then it will be followed in Q1 with 2 additional products as well. So that's coming up on the wireless. So before I close off to switching, is there anyone who has questions about Wi-Fi? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question on Wi-Fi if you want. Otherwise, we can also have the discussion at the end of the session. That's also no problem. No questions. Okay. So let's go to switching to close off our webinar for today. On switching, we have some basics that might be interesting for you. First of all, our naming. We go through our portfolio in a bit, but you see that the access point or the access point, the switches start with some letters. So like ES, like Ethernet switch. So it's a switch that supports up to 100 megabits per second. But a GS is a gigabit switch, or an XS is a 10G switch, or XGS, it's a gigabit switch with a 10G uplink. And also we have the P or HP at the ending for PoE powered, power over Ethernet, and the F for the fiber connection. So what do you have more? We have combo or dual personality ports. That means that that port number is available 2 times, one as a RJ45 copper connection, but the same port number is also available in an SFP port. SFP is small, stands for uh, small fiber connection. And with that fiber connection, we have 2 options that you connect with SFP with 1G or SFP plus with a 10G connection. On some of our switches, we support stacking as well. That means that we can merge 2 switches into one. So it has a single management on the switch, and that we do this on the 10G uplink ports. We do the stacking. Really important for us is our PoE portfolio, or switches that we offer with PoE budget. And with our switches, we are currently supporting the AF and AT standard, so 15.4 watts up to 30 watts. But also later this year, we will support the BT standard as well, that bring you 60 watts power budget per port as well. So PoE powered, as I said, it's quite important for us because the majority of our sales is in PoE. And that's not for a reason, because we offer our switches in 2 modes, in classification and consumption mode. Classification is the most secure because we reserve the power on the port that the product might need. The consumption mode is just the follow-up on the power that is being requested by the device. So there's some intelligence on the PoE. We can control each port, and we can also schedule the port. So that means that we can switch off the ports, the PoE ports, maybe during the evening or during the weekend to save power, or to make sure that we waste unused power. So how does this look like, the consumption and classification mode? In this example, we put a class 3 device onto one of our switches. Our switches have a power budget, in this case, of 375 watts. If we want to connect up to 24 of these devices in classification mode, we need 24 times 15.4 watts. That means that we need almost 370 watt to reserve. And that's possible because our total power budget is 375. So we can use it in classification mode, but also in consumption mode, because this device consumes in operating normal around 9 watts. So 25 times 9 is 216 watts. And that also meets within the power budget. But sometimes it's different. Yeah. If you have a product like a class 4 device, it's a Zyxel product, an access point, but it can also be a CCTV camera in this case. And then you see, if you want to connect up to 20 of those devices, 20 times 16 watts, it is 320 watt in consumption mode. That's fine, yeah, because our power budget is 375. So we can deal with this. But if we want to use the same 20 devices in classification mode, so we reserve the power that the access point might need, then we need 600 watts. And that's not available on this switch. So if you want to have this additional security on your PoE budget, then you have to make sure that you divide your devices over 2 switches. So power budget is key, because the higher the power budget, the higher the cost of the product. So these are the products that we have in our portfolio that's under 100 watts. The 1200 and 1900 series, that's our entry level with 60 or 70 watts PoE budget. But if you need more power budget, then we can give you power budget up to a 1000 watts on a dual power supply on an XGS 3700 switch. So that's our portfolio PoE wise. But if we go through it on project on model number, then we start off with very entry level ES switches, yeah, Ethernet switches, 5 and 8 ports, fanless, unmanaged switch, yeah, fast Ethernet. In gigabit, we have GS105. The S is plastic and 105B is the metal casing. Still 5 and 8 ports, non-PoE, yeah, just unmanaged dumb switch. If you want to have more functionality, then we offer the GS1005 or 1008 HP. That's an unmanaged switch that gives you a maximum of 16 watts of power budget. So if you just want to connect one or two phones on a desk, then it's the easiest way to expand this. When you have just one lead to that desk, for instance, you can do this. Yeah. So it's an unmanaged switch that provides PoE. If you need some kind of management like VLAN support or port configuration, then you have to go to the GS1200. Yeah, this is a web managed switch, gigabit, and we offer 5 and 8 ports, both PoE and non-PoE. So on the web managed, as I said, 1200 is double in my slide deck, but now you have the full overview. It's the 1200, it's entry level with only 60 watt power budget. If you need more power budget, you need to move into 1900, because 1900 gives you not 60 watts, but over 170 watt, depending on the model, of course. It gives you more layer 2 features, but again, it's only web managed, yeah, smart managed. The same, we have a 10G switch with the XS1920. It's a smart managed 10G switch, no power budget, but also web managed only. Then the most popular switch that we sell worldwide is the GS1920 V2 series. It comes with 8, 24 or 48 ports, non or PoE powered. The 8 HP has 130 watts, but the 24 and 48 have 375 watts. And these are full layer 2 switches, but smart managed. Then if you want a 10G uplink, then you have to move to XGS 1930. So the same functionality as the 1920, only with a 10G uplink. Yeah. The 1920 and the 1930 series can have dual mode. So that means by default from the factory, they are in standalone mode as you're used to, but you can move them into cloud managed as well. This cloud management, again, it's in Nebula, it's free of charge. You can use that. If you don't like it, you can switch back to standalone if you want. Then in the same area, we have dedicated cloud switches called NSW switches, Nebula switch series with 10 port, 24, and also 24 port with 10G uplink. Again, with 375 watts power budget. So if you are Cisco certified and you don't want to manage your switches through a web GUI, but through command line, then you have to look at these series, because these series also offer you a CLI, yeah, a serial, but also telnet or SSH connectivity. So the GS2210 is a layer 2 switch, full gigabit. If you need more speed on the uplink, then you have to move to the XGS2210 that gives you a 10G uplink. With the 10G uplink, we also support stacking on this model, and the stacking will go up to 2 devices. If 2 stack is not enough, then you can move to the XGS3700 that has a physical stack up to 8, also on the 10G, and also I have 24 and 48 ports, both in power and non-PoE ports. The other advantage with the XGS3700, it comes with a single power supply, 420 watts power budget, but with an additional power supply, you can upgrade your switch to 1,000 watt power budget. So these are 1 gigabit switches. Let's go to our 10G switches, our XGS 3700. It's still available, but it will be end of sales in a couple of months' time. And then we move to our XGS 3800 series. The big difference between those two is the new multi-gig ports that we offer on those switches. The 3800 with the multi-gig switch does not support only the 10G speed, but also offer the 5, the 2.5, the 1 gig, and even the 100 meg connection if you want. Yeah, so it's fully downwards compatible, and it offers you a stack up to 4, and that's also different from the 3700 XS series because those were not stackable. Then our full layer 3 switch is our XGS 4600 series that can have 38 port or 52 port. The 52 is only in a fiber version and then can stack up to 4 also on the 10G uplink. So that is our traditional switch portfolio. Then in September, we offer specific surveillance PoE switches. And with specific PoE switches, we mean that we saw some challenges in the surveillance market that we're trying to resolve. And the majority of those issues were PoE budget that was too low on the small switches, but also some features that would be really nice to have when you are using CCTV cameras. So the product line that we're going to start with is our GS 1300 series. And it comes with a 10, 18 or 26 ports, but it gives you a more power budget. So you see, even on the 10 port, we give you 130 watts power budget. And that's quite high for a 10 port switch. Again, we offer PoE budget, AF-AT standard, and we offer also SFP uplinks, and all ports offer the PoE power budget. The bonus on these surveillance switches comes with the extended range, because normally you can only put a camera 100 meters away from your switch, because the Ethernet standard says that we can only support up to 100 meters with the power budget. But with these switches, we move away from that standard, and we can also support your camera over 250 meters with PoE powering. So that means that if you have a camera on a longer distance than 100 meters, then normally you have to switch to fiber, but fiber doesn't provide you the PoE. So this is a great solution on cameras that are a bit further than 100 meters to support them. The thing that we do, we downgrade the line speed on that cable to 10 meg, but 10 meg will still give you a great performance on your camera view. So the 1300 series is unmanaged, but we also provide you the managed version. So those products are a little bit different because we start already with a 6 port, then a 12, 18 and a 26 port. We see that the power budgets are quite high as well. And again, we offer the AF and AT standard, but on the 6 port, we also offer the BT standard. So that means that we can offer 60 watts from the port. Again, all of these switches have SFP uplink, yeah, and all of these switches can have the extended length or the extended range, so that you can connect up to 250 meters. But we can offer you some more features on these managed ones, because we can also offer you continuous PoE. And continuous PoE, that means that during your maintenance on your switch, that your camera will be provided by PoE power. So that means that we can reduce the maintenance window, because normally if you do maintenance on your switch, If you start on doing the firmware upload to your switch, then your camera will go out. Yeah, will switch off, and you have to wait till the upgrade of your switch has been completed, and then after it's being rebooted, the power is being restored on the port, and the camera needs to be reinitialized. What we do on our switches is, doing the upgrade of the firmware, we keep the power on the cable. So that means if the switch has been rebooted, then immediately the image is coming back, because the camera doesn't need to be reinitialized again. So it saves our time in our maintenance window. So what do we have more? We can offer you camera status. So we can detect if your camera is still running or not, if they're still healthy. And if they're not healthy, then we can offer you a auto camera recovery. That means if the camera drops out or doesn't give you any imaging anymore, then we can do a reboot and alarm automatically, or alarm you only, up to what you want. So you get a notification, and then based on your notification, you know if it's rebooted or you need to reboot yourself. So it's an additional feature. Also, we do the surge protection. Yeah, it's a higher protection than we offer on our normal switches. So the total lineup from September are 3 unmanaged ones and 4 managed ones, and the managed ones will go into our cloud management as well, free of charge, later in 2020. As I said, yeah, extended range is the most important one, but also the wide temperature range is different from our normal switches. Also, with temperatures below 0, we are continue working and we support these products. So to continue on our CCTV, we offer some ruggedized switches as well. So switches that can put in outside in street cabinet, where we can have additional copper ports that needs to be powered to, for instance, a camera. So on a long distance, we can connect up to the fiber, and then with this switch, we can go up to 4 ports and give 220 watt PoE power budget. Temperature range is from -40 up to 75 degrees centigrade, but these are DC powered, as is normal in street cabinets. So this is an unmanaged one, 5 ports, but if you need more ports, we have a 12 ports as well. So 4 ports SFP and then 8 ports copper, and we provide up to 240 watts PoE power budget. So this is managed, so we can put it in a ring as well to have a redundant ring and do a quick failover. So that's possible with this as well. And then you have a product that can fit in the street cabinet. So to close off, we have some switching accessories. So to complete your offering, we offer SFP modules for 1 gig, SX, LX, SX multi-mode up to 550 meters, or LX up to 10 kilometers on a single mode fiber, and that we also offer on 10G and with 300 meters for multi-mode and 10 kilometers on single mode. If you need longer distances, please check your local SFP provider to see if they're available. We obviously will support that as well. And then we have our direct attached cable to daisy chain or to create a stack. We have 2 models, a 1 meter cable or a 3 meter cable. This is a cheaper solution than using SFP with a fiber patch cable. So that concludes our switch portfolio. I will show you 2 solutions that we built out of our Zyxel kit. Yeah, one is the World Trade Center in Rotterdam. That's a trade center where there's a lot of exhibitions going through, a lot of people coming in that have events there. The majority of the events are for education, for the university, because in Rotterdam there are a lot of universities in there, and for them it was really important that we could offer good Wi-Fi on that. Also because the density of the number of people per square meter were very high, we put smart antenna kit in there, on-premises controller with our 6503 smart antenna, with a layer 3 switch and the access switches in place as well. So we put all the access points in the different areas, and the flexibility was one of the key features that this place would choose for Zyxel as a product. So this is in hospitality. If we have an example also in the amusement industry, this is in the Troxy in the UK in London, where we did similar things, that we have an audience that is looking at a concert, and what they're trying to achieve is that they want to have the audience engaging more on the venue that's happening at that moment. So in the area where the people are standing, we use the smart antenna again for the high density, and in the areas around it, we used standard antennas, standard access points to provide wireless as well. So this is how it looks like. Yeah, we put access point in different areas, and again, the awareness and presence on the online social media was key for them to have this solution offered by us. So with this slide, I would like to conclude my webinar for today. So if there are any questions available on any topic, now it's the time to open up and unmute yourself on your system, and then you can answer. I can answer your question maybe for you. So is there anyone that has questions related to my presentation? Anyone? No, I don't see anyone unmute him or herself. So let me thank you for everyone's attention, time that you spent to watch this webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to contact our local sales office, and then maybe we meet next time, or maybe on premise or on the web again. So thanks again, and thank you for joining.